And this is always a good time for me, but for the rest of our community, to do an honoring for the Bonnie Heavy Runner Victims Advocacy Award. This is always a special moment for everyone where we honor individuals who have continued to empower our communities and stay advocates for the victims that we serve. And we started this program in 2006. And since then, at every conference, we've honored individuals who have given their life's work to help and heal our people. And this year, we're honoring 3 very important individuals in our communities. So we're going to go ahead and honor these 3 individuals that include Lisa Booner, who is Anishinaabe. Lisa's done some very wonderful work. To Mike Jackson, Haida Klinkett from Alaska. We'll also honor him, and we'll also honor Don Stover of the Cherokee Nation of Oklahoma. So during this time, we'll be able to honor these individuals and give them a few words to say about why we're honoring them, but why they're special to our hearts and to the lives that we honor. But I'd like to invite up Iris PrettyPaint and her family right now to talk about Bonnie Heavy Runner, and who she was and what she stood for, and why we honor her in this way every conference, and to continue to have her in our memory, but to also have her in our heart. So if they could make their way up here.
My name is Iris PrettyPaint. My maiden name is Heavy Runner. Bonnie was my sister, and she crossed over to the spirit world at the age of 47 from cancer. Bonnie and I stood at the first conference for the National Indian Justice Center as sisters, speaking from our heart, from our experience, and from our dreams of what conferences like this would be today for the protection of our children. I know that it's not easy to bring up, someone's life. Those of you that have lost relatives, you know this clearly. It might be something that's very close to you today. But the reason we feel the way we do is because we have memories of our relatives that go deep into our soul. And we try to remember their words as close as we can so that we don't forget what their dreams were, what their thoughts were, and their feelings about things that they went through in their life. So this is Bonnie's daughter, Aislinn, Rioux, and we stand here today. We were hoping that our mother could join us. Bonnie's mom is still with us today. She's 90 years old, and she chose to not travel this time because of her age and the winter time. But she did ask us if we would bring her words, her prayers, and her song with us today. And so we'd like to play that first for you before we say a little bit about these awards that this organization has so graciously did for the last several years. Some of you may remember back to the early days, we did a conference, and my sister spoke about the issue of sexual abuse. And it was so powerful. We spent the whole lunch hour, people lined up to shake her hand. And it was a time when topics like that were difficult for someone to express. She was instrumental in being able to develop curriculum for judges, prosecutors, defenders. She was a part of the early days in the development of codes that were new to our communities. on how to protect victims of violence and abuse. So, Ernesto, if you could play that for us, I'd appreciate it.
Anakaya Pascal, this could read the Bivak. I was promoting Nana no Christico, promoted no six. I am no from Hack, be honest. No risks promoting Nana, so get up at the beach, but Nana no, you don't get out by the beach for her. Don't gonna stick him, so got to get it out by the beach for her, it down up. Go watch him, I got to walk in that. Come out to go book skinny upon the package it up had to be. To go watch him, we got to walk in that. He takes to watch him, we got to break up with her. Break him book in that. Oh, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I wish she could be here in person, because those of you that have families where people sing and they pray, you're very fortunate. If you still sit at the table today with your mother and you're still able to drink coffee with your father. And for many of us, we still get to celebrate with our grandparents if we're fortunate. And then all of you that are grandparents, I see many people in the audience today that, you know, I'm so happy to see you, and you're still going in this work. I see Faith Spotted Eagle out there, you know, and Bonnie Claremont and Jim. There's so many of you that have contributed to the work that Bonnie was a part of. I think that we wouldn't be able to survive if we didn't have the advocates that have the kind of hearts that we need for this work. It's not for everyone. I think that you find people that reach a point where they can't do this work anymore, and so they retire or they go into another field. But for those of you that are still going today, you know, this honoring today is a celebration of your work, to encourage you to take care of yourself, to continue to hold on to that passion that you have to see change in your community. And so these awards that have been presented are about those kinds of people. It's about the people that are committed to their communities to do the hard work in the tribal courts, in the tribal government, in the schools, in the prevention programs, and to bring all of that work forward to improve our way of life. We have come a long ways, and you always hear this, and we have a long ways to go. But we're going to get there together. I love the words that were offered this morning by the Yupik elder. Sam English's words, they resonate with me. And hopefully, God willing, we will be here again in 2 years. And I want to give Aislinn an opportunity as Bonnie's daughter to share a few words with you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I was sitting at the table a few minutes ago, kind of reading over what was in the pamphlet about my mother and about the recipients of the award this year, and it struck me. I was 19 years old when my mother crossed over, and looking back, I didn't pay attention a lot to what she had done for so many people, and I continue today to meet so many people that she touched or has helped. And so today I want to take the chance while I'm up here for the young people. I'm only 36 years old. I'm still a baby compared to many of you out there. And for those of you that are my age or younger, take a look around at you, at what we have in our elders and our mothers and our fathers, our aunties and uncles. They have so much to teach us, and it's our responsibility to take the time to sit with them, to have coffee, to join them for breakfast, ask them questions, learn from them as we go forward. Thank you.
Thank you to the Heavy Runner family for being here. We're always honored to have you here and to have Gertrude here in spirit. I think that song was really beautiful that we played because we know, that they're still here with us as well. So thank you, and thank you for being here to help us in honoring these individuals that we'll be doing right now. So I'd like to introduce Lisa Brunner, who is Anishinaabe and the program specialist at the National Indigenous Women's Resource Center. She's the enrolled member of her tribe, which is located in northwestern Minnesota. Her gifted name is Tornado Woman, and she is Wolf Clan. She is the proud mother of 3 children, 2 daughters and a son, and as a survivor of domestic violence and sexual assault, she knows the realities of women and children, the horror and the pain of assaults, and that is not consistent with our traditional teachings, and that the women's, that they are sacred as well. She's worked over 16 years in this field, and in the last 8 years as a director of Sacred Spirits First Nations Tribal Coalition. And she's a wonderful person, beautiful spirit, beautiful heart, and we're honored to have Lisa Brunner as this year's Bonnie Heavy Award recipient.
Miigwech, this is very much an honor. There are far more incredible women who should be standing here versus me. I just want to say that my voice and my actions are that of our ancestors and of our future generations. And I pray for a time that our children of our future generations' stories will be far better than what ours have been. So Miigwech, thank you.
Thank you, Lisa, very much, and for all the work that you do. Doesn't she look pretty in pink? Beautiful shawl. Our next recipient today is someone I met many years ago, and I had the opportunity to be able to meet his family as well, and very honored to introduce Mike Jackson, who is Haida and Tlingit. He serves as a tribal judge and magistrate for the organized village of Kate in southeastern Alaska. Judge Jackson has served as a part-time magistrate for the Kate District Court in the state of Alaska. He's done a lot in terms of domestic relations, dissolutions, domestic violence petitions and orders, emergency hearings for minor and juveniles, and many other legal processes as well. He comes from the village of Cake as an Alaska Native individual, and we're very honored to have Mike Jackson as this year's recipient of the Bonnie Heavy Runner Award.
Kunishish Hawa for stepping forward as your mom did in regard to working with our own people, bringing out our own customary and traditional way of sharing and caring for our children. The visions that you have and that the instructors have, or the people that are doing examples of work within your own communities and volunteerism. We did the work that you always do and our ancestors did without any compensation. The compensation is that if we were lucky, we lived long enough that our grandchildren, we got to see them grow up and we got to see them do what we taught them to do in regard to living on the land and sharing the resources that we showed them how to get. So the hearts through our circle peacemaking, our culture camps are very beneficial for our children because that's what they love to do. And I thank the Heavy Runner family for continuing to recognize your sister, your mother, your auntie, your grandmas, for the work that she's done, because she took that first step to talk about sexual abuse. And you all can take that step to encourage others.